Hey fellas, Onus here, and welcome back to With a Y, and we have today what in theory should be a gigantic episode of the With a Y channel. I cannot be calling these things episodes, man, that ain't right. In theory, it should be this way because we are covering a death battle today, specifically Bakugo versus Reze. As far as death battles go, this might have had the most, unique upswell of pre-fight hype than anything we've looked at, and that's because this was like a Twitter discourse that happened months ago, like late 2025, where tons of artists were coming in to decide if they thought that Reze from Chainsaw Man or Bakugo from My Hero Academia would be the winner. We even had fucking legends like Moro over here, the genius behind Indie Cross, creating a really well done 3D animation of his version of Slander posting. It looks absolutely insane, and it's the type of quality you would almost expect to see in Death Battle, because, Moro's just an incredible fight animator. And he just had Bakugo on the floor fucking weeping, dude. I gotta say, this was a really legendary time on Twitter because this was the only who would win discourse I saw that wasn't the direct follow-up of the result of a death battle or the direct lead-in into one. This wasn't even a matchup that was really on, as far as I'm aware, Death Battle's radar, or at least as something they were teasing, until after the Metal Sonic versus Perfect Cell one. That said, we had to wait half a year until we got it, and I'm gonna do full spoilers for the death battle now, so go watch it if you want to. But Bakugo won that shit, which has led to I want to say all sorts of unique slander on the timeline, but really it just has been kind of a silent thing. There's been a bit of an uptick in people talking about this, making slander art, but it's really not the same as it was with Metal Sonic versus Cell. And from what I understand, Death Battle hasn't been as hype as that one in a very long time. I think the problem is this was a matchup that gained popularity because it was on Twitter first, and this is the matchup finally happening on Death Battle way after the fact. Given I have less investment in Chainsaw Man, I literally skipped most of the explanation for Reze, not because I'm uninterested, but because I intend to read the manga for that series myself, and I got some spoilers along the way via osmosis, but I wanted to minimize it. The only bit that really made me go hype as hell was after Bakugo got his win and did the fist up he did after he beat All For One in MHA. Boomstick, which, they had a lot of clever writing about how he likes explosions and stuff. Specifically, this was the best one.
Oh, Denji, we're so sorry to hear about your girlfriend that passed away. She gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom!
Please just shut up.
When I first watched this episode, I actively said the booms along with him, and I was really mad at Wiz for interrupting that shit. Of course, the fight was well animated and very fun to watch, pretty much all the modern death battles are. It had less of a consistent art style than Metal Sonic vs. Cell. It switched between sprite animation and hand-drawn stuff and some 3D rigging, I believe, at points. Still, all impressive in their individual bits. And this was basically what the argument boiled down to. Somebody pretty much predicted what this was going to come down to. The Bakugo versus Reze debate in a nutshell. Katsuki has strength, durability, stamina, speed, some other misc stuff, and he has a high school diploma. Reze has regeneration, which would probably be the X factor if anything of the stats she didn't have over him were going to be something. Doesn't even have the moral victory. Listen, if you have been in the MHA fandom for long enough, we've done the discourse over if Bakugo got his redemption arc truly earned, or if he should have been at fucking jail the first time he tried to kill a fellow classmate. But by the end of the series, he was undeniably reformed and a different person than he was at the start. You can argue that he didn't get enough comeuppance, but he did change actively. And it's funny how quiet everything has been after the fight happened, because I remember there were posts like this one. I can't find the original artist, unfortunately, but the slander seemed to be so much in favor of Reze because Bakugo just doesn't have the aura, I guess, in their source material. Death Battle, I need you! Death Battle, please! Make a video where I win against Reze! All of this slander is too much! My fans are struggling to back me up! I need something! Death Battle, please! And it just wasn't like that. Wander Jegson, who I'm mostly familiar with through their Reze Bakugo slander, I'm gonna keep it a buck, committed to just whoever lost the death battle. It didn't matter which side they had taken before the whole episode had dropped, or when the original slander sesh happened in late 2025. They said the loser, they were just gonna fucking absolutely scorch their ship. And you know what? Kudos to them for really, really sticking to this because it has been nothing but that for like the last day. Look, guys, haha, he only fights street tiers. Misogyny, am I right? Like, come on now. Everyone hates this guy. This shit is not going to work. I just fucking love the shade over his face. He's like, I got business to attend to. So are you gonna get your head blown off or not? What if someone drew us as friends? And the slander just didn't stay to the vacuum of who would win in a fight. It just became a referendum on like one being lamer than the other overall, regardless of how good the actual writing in each series was. I'm sorry for trying to fight the glorious king, bombshell hero, great explosion, murder god, dynamite. I will stay in my place and fight people in my level like Homelander or the team Umizumi. How the fuck did you wrote Ching instead of King? I know you never went to school, but this shit is embarrassing. T called like a month ago when this fight first got announced. Wait a second. This is gonna end up being Bakugo Slander if he wins like Deku versus Miles. Not a single Slander image. Damn. No one give a fuck about this fight. Not anymore at least, man. This shit was funny. Like Katsuki Bakugo when his opponent isn't a baby or a teenage girl, and like, I guess, man, sure. Given the baby was all for one after he'd already beat him up in his prime, and he's also a super powered teenager, so it's like whatever. The most effective slander I saw about this entire conversation was just quoting this tweet. They have a perfect death battle record. Deku beats Miles Morales, Bakugo beats Reze, Shoto beats Zuko, and then somebody had to quote tweet it saying, all of these ain't even fair fights, like at all. This is my bully academia. I mean, in Bakugo's case, absolutely. More street tiers now, but I don't know, man. We reined that discourse back. We need to find a new bit ASAP. I saw a tweet that unfortunately I can't find offhand, but it was someone calling that when Reze loses, they're gonna say some shit like Bakugo's a horrible character. And I'm pretty sure this was a play off that tweet, but like somebody did the literal thing that somebody predicted. Yeah, he might be stronger, but he's a horrible character, which in truth is what I prefer in media. Badly written stuff. Like really, what else is there to look at other than the up next on Death Battle? This one actually might be hype for just the fucking absurdity of it. The LARPers have had their fun already. Now it's the men's turn. Gru versus Megamind. I feel like we have to give Gru all the minions because if we like think of them by end of their original movies, I'm pretending Megamind 2 doesn't exist. I feel like Gru is still like a little eviler than Megamind is. Like Megamind wasn't even like really about that villain shit. He was just kind of LARPing in a Batman Joker kind of way with like way less civilian casualties. From what I understand, Reze needs to consume blood in order to be able to regenerate. Like if she has to like regrow too much shit within the space of a singular fight, she's gonna need to get like some iron lung in her to be able to keep going. And that actually did come into play here where Bakugo is just tearing her to fucking pieces and then she needed to give like a little vampire shit going on in order to keep the fight pushing.
You bit off a bit more than you could chew! My blood isn't the only thing you drank! It's my sweat you should worry about, dumbass!
Damn, absolutely fucking just obliterated from the inside out, man. That's rough. Oh man, honestly, the only thing this has made me do is like see like some of the really, really pretty chainsaw animation out of context, and I want to finish that series now. Maybe catch up on the manga because I heard it wrapped up recently. There was discourse about that, but I'm not caught up, so I didn't do any of the Twitter coverage for it. And I've got it out of mind, man. It was just kind of a wet fart of a Twitter discourse. Like there just wasn't nearly as much going on that like got a gut-busting laugh out of. All quiet on the slander front. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at with a Y. That email's in the description if you guys want to send me any video topics. Anyways, piss off.